The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. It's time. What I like the sports theme stuff more than your tranquility stuff.
I think the tranquility bells are much better.
Yeah.
They're actually Nepalese bells, actually.
I don't care if they're Nepalese bells, Tibetan bells, Tahitian bells, Hell's bells. It don't matter.
So we're in an alternative location today.
We're in the bunker location.
It's a different bunker, though.
I don't know if we can call it a bunker, can we?
They can't see.
Okay, it's still a bunker. It's by God the best damn bunker there is. People at NORAD come in here salivating over how great this bunker is.
Except I'm in a noisy chair, so I can't move.
But anyway, before we get started, I wanted to pose a question that doesn't have to be answered.
I'm going to try and answer it then.
Okay. So, why is it that the morons in charge want to kill so many of us off?
It's actually a really hard question to answer.
Well, there's plenty of people who thought about it, but I think
I asked a couple of people that I talk to regularly who are kind of like conspiracy theorists this question.
This is not a conspiracy theory question. It's actually, I think it's actually...
No, but I was interested to see what the guys who I talked to...
Who put the aluminum foil on their heads would say?
No. I mean, that's
They're
not. They're just... They just kind of like... They research the stuff.
No, when you say conspiracy theory, that's the mental image that I get.
Right. Whoop, 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 whoop.
No, somebody sitting there putting an aluminum foil around their head so that they can't read your thoughts.
But what's kind of interesting is you raised this question, and then within 3 hours of you raising this question, like you texted it to me, within 3 hours, both these guys raised that same topic with me.
So they're listening to me.
Yeah, but they don't know you.
I'm being broadcast.
So one guy seemed to think that it was all to do with, like, it was the same people that bought into the...
Malthusian thing?
Yep, mm-hmm. Malthusian environmental thing. And the other guy said it was so that so there was less people Okay, we're back.
After our brief communication.
Sorry about that. That was NORAD calling.
It was somebody calling. Central Command.
And the other guy said that it was because there's too many of us, and it was about, having less people to control and manipulate.
Well, I think both of those have some valid... I tend to believe in the Malthus idea too, but the reason...
You have to explain.
What?
You have to explain Malthus and Malthusian.
Well, it's the same thing. Thomas Malthus was a British scientist, which already is redundant for moron.
He was the guy that said that, like, he was the guy that said that we needed to knock off that there wasn't going to be enough food, right?
Right, that we're going to overwhelm the earth and everyone's going to starve to death.
So we need to knock off a bunch of people.
Well, I think that was like the underlying thing. He didn't want to say it because it just seems so grotesque.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And was he British?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, the whole idea that the Nazis invented eugenics is so not true.
Really?
Yeah, I think it came here.
It started from here?
Either here or England.
Okay.
I mean, Margaret Sanger was a big eugenicist.
Right.
And now...
But we don't really know where it started. Like, it must have started with one person.
The idea of eugenics?
Yes. Everything always starts with one person.
Yeah. I think it started... I think the seed started in England and it kind of grew a little bit here, and then another person decided to take another Malthusian... Well, he was actually a political pragmatist.
Right.
Because in a very short run, yeah, it does seem like it'll help, right? If you got rid of half the people, then the other half seem like, well, shit, now there's more stuff for me to use.
Right.
But I think where the whole Malthus idea kind of breaks down is not just to me it breaks down in that, okay, so you get rid of half the people, what makes you think the half that are left are actually good people? And what I mean by good people are the type that are going to sit there and create this thing in this great balance where you, the Grand Poobah, stay the Grand Poobah and lie on your ass and eat, burritos as big as your head, and everybody does their little thing. All these people that talk about utopia and Shangri-La and whatnot are like criminals are with property rights.
Right. Oh, you mean like,
Remember
yeah. We talked about this.
Yeah, criminals are all like, they don't
ago.
give a shit about other people's property rights. When it comes to theirs, they're like, it's fucking sacrosanct. You can't, they stole my weed.
Right.
They stole my money that I stole from somebody else. How the hell can someone do that?
We need to do something.
Exactly. So the people that are like that happen to move ahead and get in positions of power in life, because this is for upteen untold number of generations, we're focused on relationships, and the idiots get the most help. But as a species, we're pretty idiotic too, because look at how much help God gives us compared to the other animals.
Why do we get dumber the more there are of us, though? That's the part I can't figure out, like the herd mentality. Because I was just reading this thing from Einstein. I think it's called The World as I See It. And he basically was saying the same thing you were, which is that you've said, which is the more there are of us, the worse it is in terms of like stupidity. And basically he says that any good idea has to come from one person. Like through individualism and freedom and things, he's like, it's one person. Like it always starts with one guy or one gal.
Oh, is that why you're talking about the one person thing?
Yeah.
Well, to add to your Einstein thing, I think the reason why we get dumber as there are more of us is because things get easier as there are more of us, right? Me living by myself, trying to eke out an existence on a desert island is fucking hard. Me and you trying to do it on a desert island, a little bit easier. Me and you and somebody else trying to do it, a little bit easier. Now, the trick is not to overwhelm the island, right? If we got a 10 by 10 square mile island,
okay,
you and me, maybe 98 other people.
98.
We could, maybe 100 of us.
Yeah.
We might be able to do okay. But in that 100 people, there's going to be one or two people who sit there and say, why am I sitting there doing all this work like a sucker? Why don't let everybody else do some work, act like I'm doing stuff, and then just kind of eat?
Or just tell people what to do.
That comes later. Because in a 98, well, no, yeah, you're right. In a 98, in a colony of 98, in a colony of 100, yeah, that can happen. That's why a lot of special forces teams aren't more than 6 people.
6.
Yeah. Well, for the Army, it's 12.
Because after that,
well,
when you get beyond that number, there's always there's going to be that extra guy that's just doesn't want to do anything.
No, with 6 people, no one's in charge.
Okay.
You got to all cooperate.
Right.
With 6 people, it's really hard for one person to sit on his ass and do nothing.
Huh.
And you know what's funny about that?
Was it just trial and error that they came to that number? Was that through trying bigger teams and smaller teams?
Maybe, but you know why I find that so funny?
Why?
Because there's a bunch of eggheads sitting on their asses thinking about how many people should we make a special operations team so there's enough people to get the job done, but not so many people that they start, not doing. There's people sitting there like smoking a cigarette going,
Kids. That's funny.
So yeah, on the thing, no, I definitely think that the people in charge are trying to kill us, a lot of us off. And it's under the mistaken idea that if they get rid of a bunch of us, that things are going to be rosy and bright for everybody that's left. And they're counting on being the ones that are left and, the empire that they...
Do you think the why really matters? Do you think that the why...
To me, the why never... To me, the why never matters. But because I'm just one of those people. But there are
To me,
But
The why is the most important question of all to answer.
Right, but then there are people like you, right? That's like the why is most important.
My whole life is why, basically.
Okay.
But I don't know that it, like, if I had the answer to all my why questions,
I think you'd be pretty disappointed.
I don't know that it would help me.
What do you mean by help?
Well, I have this idea that, like, if I can answer the why question, the big why questions, that somehow my life is going to be like on Easy Street. That if I answer all those questions, that everything's going to be like good.
Well,
you know?
I'll tell you this: you may be able to answer all those questions, but your life's never going to be on Easy Street.
I don't think I'll ever answer the questions, though.
Well, what I'm saying is your life will never be on Easy Street the way that you envision in your mind.
Well, I just imagine things being easier.
Right, like some kind of Candyland fantasy cartoon. That's the circus.
I know. Well, that's probably what it would be, right? It would be the circus, not Candyland.
It might be the House of Mirrors.
I feel like my life is a circus.
Well, then it's entertaining at least.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about old school.
Until like some big cat eats somebody from the audience.
Well, I'm talking about old school circus, not like the kinds that they're trying to have now.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about old school circus too.
The new stuff. I'm just
where the animals can just like run riot and like kill a bunch of people.
Well, that never even happened in an old school. Well, no, there was that elephant.
Yeah, but if you were that elephant, you would do that shit too.
Well, I think that elephant was probably egged on. I'm talking about an elephant from like the 20s or 30s, a long time ago.
It ran.
It got a little pissed off.
And how much damage did it do?
I don't know, but they killed it.
Yeah.
Using a crane.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you kill an elephant using a crane?
Tie a rope around its neck and hang it.
Oh man, that's awful.
I was thinking they could probably do it much better and just like shoot it or something with it.
That just makes me think of that childhood game that we all used to play, Hangman. Like that's a pretty fucking like. It's like guess the fucking word in my head, and if you don't, I'm gonna hang you.
Yeah, well, it's not for real though. I mean, it's not.
It's kind of an odd game though.
Yeah, but it's not like Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Which is what happens when you get a bunch of bored soldiers together.
Russian roulette, yeah, that's messed up.
Well, bored drunken soldiers. That's kind of redundant.
So you don't care about the why?
Most of the time, I do not.
But isn't the why important?
For me, not necessarily.
Why?
I don't think it matters. No.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
The why is only important as I think about it. The why is only important if you want to give someone a reason. If you want to give someone a break.
Please explain.
Why did you run over that mailbox? I lost control of the car. I was drunk. I fell asleep because I worked 20 years,
Those are excuses.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. The whys are only important if you want to give somebody a break. Why did you run over that mailbox? Because I was drunk. You go straight to jail, or you have to pay for the mailbox or whatever. Why'd you run over that mailbox? I've been working triple shifts for the last 3 days to help pay for my mother's operation. And,
right.
Because she's...
Or cut this guy a break then.
Right, but then the important question is like, what kind of operation? If they say Botox, as compared to right?
She has a hangnail.
Right. Well, wow. If you got to work triple shifts for a hangnail operation, I'm just like, what kind of doctor are you going to? But right, if it's Botox surgery as compared to hip replacement.
Yeah.
And
I guess that is an important detail,
right? Well, what kind of hip replacement is it? Because your mom was a stripper and she's just like grinding too many years, and now she needs to get that changed, or was it because right? I mean, the why is only important for the person that's hearing the why, to then give someone a break.
Now I'm thinking of the David Spade story where he bought
a
bunch of lap dancers for Chris Farley with the gimpy Canadian hooker.
Oh yeah.
Ah, man.
That reminds me of the joke about unions.
What's the joke?
Well, it's pretty much the same premise. Guy goes into a strip bar, as a trucker, and it was like, I heard that this was a union shop, and because I'm a Teamster, I figured I'd come and support you guys. And they're like, oh great. It's like, yeah, I want to dance with her. And it's this hot young woman, just perfect build, perfect everything, and the nightclub manager's like, well, yeah, okay, but remember, this is a union shop, and I know you want that hot, sexy number Natasha over there, but Gertie's got seniority. And, Gertie's like this 60-year-old woman with saggy breasts.
That's it?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's horrific.
So that's that. To me, that's why the why isn't as important. It's a way, and this.
So you don't care about you. You're not do you give any credence to excuses then when people give you an excuse as to why they did something?
You mean
do you care if somebody has an excuse? If it's
not really.
No.
But I will operate like I do because I don't want to be looked at like a.
Yeah. If you're your excuses are not
Yeah.
Fuck you and your excuses.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
you can't say that, right? I mean,
The places where I got most of my upbringing and training, range for excuses is 0 meters, so.
Yeah. But in the society we live in, it's all about excuses all the time.
Well, especially if you're the higher up you go, right?
Yeah.
The more you got, the more.
Leeway you have?
Pretty much. So that's what I was going to say before was that's the reason why I should never be in charge of anything by myself. Because I need someone to soften me up. And when I say soften is to make me seem a little bit more human.
But you are. You're exceedingly human.
I'm very human, but
that's what's funny though.
I need other opinions, like a female perspective, a more emotional perspective, to kind of temper my straightforward, this is it, type deal.
Well, we probably need to find a few more females then.
Oddly enough, this seems like a really odd way of me doing the sorority girls meeting call.
Yeah. We need a female voice for sure, but...
Well, I'm pretty sure there are no females listening. No women listening, but...
You don't know.
You're right, I don't. But anyway, what were we talking about? So yeah, with excuses?
It was before that. It was before excuses. It was the whole idea of knocking people off.
Well, the knocking people off.
I don't know that people have an answer though.
I tried. Speaking of knocking people off, I tried to watch this new Netflix documentary called Ordinary Men, which is about the guys that shot up, that killed the Jews in the firing squads.
They killed what?
They had to go out. Their job was to go out and kill Jews at the very beginning.
Jeez.
And apparently that fuck with people so much that that's when they started using the gas chambers.
I had a dream like that one time when I was actually I was a Jew and I got executed by firing squad. That was the end of the dream. I'm like, this dream sucks.
That's a pretty shitty dream.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have dreams like that.
Well, I don't usually have dreams like that. But it was very vivid.
No, I'm talking about unsatisfying dreams.
Yeah, I'm like, the end of the dream was me being shot. I'm like, great.
That's kind of like life, right? The end of the movie is you're dead.
Yeah. But I don't, usually my dreams are like flying dreams, or I'm like an orca, or, something more fun.
Orca?
Orca.
Orca?
Orca.
What the
A fucking whale, dude.
Orca.
That's what I said.
You said orca.
Orca. Orca. Orca. It sounds weird when I say it. I sound like an Australian when I say it. You
said orca, so I'm saying
that's how you say it, orca.
Like you're from Auckland? Ocker? What?
That's how you say it. If I say orca, that just doesn't sound like an Australian. It doesn't sound right.
Only because you say orca.
How do you say it?
Orca.
Orca. I can't even... Orca.
Orca?
Orca.
There's no R in that word.
Orca. Orca. No.
That's better.
No, it's not.
It only sounds stupid because you're trying to make it sound like you're a dumbass. Orca.
Man. We're filling up time with all this bullshit.
Good. People need bullshit.
Nah, man. We need to cut to the real issues.
We did.
Answer the questions.
People in charge are dumbasses. Everybody sucks.
Did you watch any of the 9/11 stuff?
Nope.
Well, that's a quick answer. I did, and I regretted it.
Why?
Because it brought back memories of watching all the shit.
No, why did you watch it?
I don't know, dude. It was because it was on, and then I ended up binge watching all of it. And then I went down and then I started looking at the 9/11 conspiracies. Went down those conspiracy rabbit holes. My God.
Oh, the stuff about like steel doesn't...
Jet fuel doesn't...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that it was like... That there were charges. You can see them going boom, 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 boom.
Really?
Yeah.
You watched all that?
I watched it all, yeah.
Wow.
Plus, like, a plane didn't hit the Pentagon. It was a missile.
You say that with so little irony.
Well, some of the conspiracy stuff kind of makes sense, because I remember at the time watching...
Why don't we call it alternative theories?
Alternative theories, yeah. Like, did you ever watch the Pentagon stuff?
No.
There's only one camera, and it doesn't look like a plane going in. And then when you start looking into the guy that was flying that particular plane, whichever one it was, I think it was a United flight. Mm-hmm. Apparently, dude couldn't even pass at the flying school. So he would have done a shitty job flying a two-seater, mm-hmm. let alone like flying that 747 as he did into the Pentagon. Plus, like, apparently, like, the flight like, there's no way you could have done it. Like, you would have had to have stayed at 600 feet for a mile. Mm-hmm. And a 747, which is, like, physically impossible.
That was a 747?
It was a 747.
That's a gigantic plane.
I know. And there was no plane, there was, like, no body parts, there was no luggage, there was nothing.
Those things are used for international flights.
Right. So there's like a lot of stuff about the Pentagon that doesn't make no sense.
Well, there's a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff that doesn't make no sense.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't really want to go down this rabbit hole anymore.
Do you know why I don't like the term conspiracy theory?
Because it debunks.
No, because now it's just shorthand for kook.
Right.
You're an idiot or dumbass if you believe this.
Yeah, so we shouldn't use the term then.
Yeah, and it's all what's his face's fault. What the fuck is his name? He was it's Warren Commission. Kennedy assassination.
Oh, okay. That was where it comes from?
Yeah, dude was like, the conspiracy theory.
Huh.
Because y'all fuckers don't believe that one person pulled this off. Then there's a bunch of people say it's the CIA that killed him. I was like, you know what? Who cares? If you don't keep your hand on the levers of your own life, government, whatever, then, you know, the practical side of me says you kind of deserve it. You deserve whatever shit comes your way. The only reason why I don't like it is because the shit don't come your way. It comes the way of somebody else who's standing there and doesn't even know the shit's coming.
Yeah.
You know, all these people spending money like crazy right now, they don't give a fuck. They're going to be dead by the time the Piper comes. So they hope.
That's what they're counting on, probably, or maybe not. They're not even thinking about it.
Well, a lot of them are too dumb to think about it, but everybody, the ones that can think about it, are counting on it. You know, it reminds me of what was it? Congressional hearings, and this was back in the 90s, maybe late 90s, early 2000s, when they were talking about the replacement for the KC-135. It's a fuel tanker that the Air Force uses.
Okay.
So it's a plane that hauls a whole bunch of fuel that flies around. Waits for the plane.
You do the
yeah. It's the
in-air refueling, whatever it is.
Yes, it's a mobile gas station.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when somebody was talking about how, like, you know, blah blah, the life expectancy of these planes, right? So KC-35, 135, whatever, had been around since the 60s maybe. It's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the time, this plane had been around for 30, 40 years. And this general was saying, look, the grandmother of the last pilot of this plane hasn't been born yet. So, you know, anytime anybody puts any kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Faith in the government, I'm like, you're going to put your faith in a giant bureaucratic organization that moves so slowly, it's not going to be able to fix your problem until it's become a problem and fuck with a bunch of people. I mean, 1933, 1934, you know, acts for the SEC, right? Those were all because of the crash in 29. Everything the government does is try to stop the last big disaster.
And it takes years and years and years and years.
Right, but it's to stop the last big disaster.
That the government caused.
Well, I don't know the government caused the stock market crash in 29.
I don't know.
But, you know, it brings to mind the old saying that I used to grow up with. Is it's kind of like locking the barn door after the horse done bolted, isn't it? So, you know, that's all I got to say to all the people that put lots of faith in government. And I think that's about all the time we have because
actually, we have another 3 minutes. But we can stop now.
Well, you're the one that's talking about how you don't want to...
I just don't want to edit 2 tracks.
Yeah,
it's a 30-minute track. It's pretty sad, but...
We don't need to go through the housekeeping stuff, so...
Yeah.
We will say, like, subscribe. What else?
Share.
Yeah, that too.
Tell your friends, and they'll tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends.
We'll tell everybody, and we'll see whether or not we want to sell out. My answer is still probably not.
I'm ready to sell out.
Well then, since one of us is ready to sell out, then why don't you guys come and give us a shot?